Hello folks, and welcome back to the Scottish Model Railway Guy. So it's been a long time since I laid a little bit of track. Ever since the very beginnings of this, when I started with the basics of these three sort of sidings. This far one's going to go on a big loop round about the loft, and then it goes all the way around. It does loop back down here or down the middle one. Now, the video I made in the past with regards to track laying was in the very early stages of my learnings. So what I'm going to do today is show it again, but this time with a little more professionalism, a better mic, and hopefully it's a better and more enjoyable experience than it was before. So hang on, I'm just going to bring you down to show some more of the layout. What do you think of the little Maersk sign? Means something to me. I did work on some Maersk oil rigs at one point, quite extensively. And yeah, this is a part of the layout that I don't really showcase much, but it's one of the ones that I'm going to work on quite a lot. But for now, we're going to work over here on some track. Now, what I went through before was how to basically lay track, and the basics of it are my little pinholes here. I have some little tiny Hornby track pins, and they go through here. But what I'm going to demonstrate this time is how to put some cork on it. Now, this is a first radius curve, so it's as tight a curve as you can get from Hornby. But how do you get your track to follow properly the cork? The cork doesn't want to take a curve, so you've got to sort of put it into it. Well, hang on, and I shall show you directly. So you might ask yourself, why now? Why am I going back to how to lay track now? Well, there is a reason for it. It's coming up to Christmas at the moment. If you're watching this at some point in the future, then Christmas is about 3 weeks away. So I'm going to show you how to make a sort of Hornby model railway Christmas decoration in a forthcoming video. That should be with us in about a week's time, and I'm going to make an actual snow scene. But first of all, to lay track, what do we need? We need track, we need track pins, we don't need this, you can hold it with your finger, but I'm going to show you a technique that makes it a bit easier to hold the track pins because they are fiddly. We need a hammer, or preferably a mallet, so you don't damage the track. Metal on metal, as we know in engineering, is never good. And ideally a pin punch, but not necessary, but I'm going to show you how to use a pin punch to do it. Further, we should get some cork. Now this cork tells you 35mm wide by 3mm thick, double O gauge. So it's specifically made for this type of application. You hear something going on in the background. I'm opening it up because it's never been used. I just got it delivered. So what does it look like? Looks like this. So first thing we do is get a piece that's going to be roughly the size of the bit of track, and then I'm just going to cut it with a pair of scissors there, and then I can take this away and deal with it later. I'm going to move things out the road now so that you're focusing on the one thing. So, like I showed you before, there are tiny holes on these pieces of track, and the objective is to get the pin through the hole and into your baseboard or whatever you've got. I've got this thing that I made in my loft all the way around. Took me a while, but I got there. Now, it looks really simple, but I'm going to show you where problems begin. So we've got a straight piece of cork. Try bending that. It's the first thing it wants to do. Pop back to straight. How do we get the curve into it? So what I learned was that you have to sort of cut the curve into it. What does that look like? It looks like avoiding the middle section or wherever, and literally cutting slivers out of it. Now, you don't have to be super neat with this, because ultimately you're going to be doing some ballasting, and there's a ballasting video popping up just now somewhere up here for you to have a look at if you choose. I'm just going to do that again on the other side. No particular rhyme or reason to it, just taking little triangles out here or there and see if that's enough. Now I might need to go deeper. That is a potential. Never ever throw away your little slivers of cork, by the way. They can make lovely wee stones. Now what that gives us is it weakens the cork. So I hope you can see that. It's quite difficult, but I'm just going to hold it down either side and hope that you get the effect of that. Just going to check the camera and make sure, yeah, you can see that. So, and that is what I did to be able to manipulate the cork. Now, you just need to pick your first point, put a track pin through it, right there, and then what I see a lot of model railway enthusiasts doing, or what I have seen on YouTube, is they then get a big old metal hammer and they whack it. But again and again, I see them going metal to metal on this track. Now, when you give it a tap with a mallet, and you can see it doesn't want to move. Now, back in the day when I had apprentices, if I caught them going metal to metal on anything, it would be straight into trouble. Now I'm not going to go all the way down because I want to ultimately save this bit of track. I'm going to go down a fair bit, but you can see I'm completely avoiding going metal to metal and putting any dents or dings on the track. Now if you don't have a pin punch, don't worry, I'm sure you'll find something else around the house that is similar to this. Again, a little tap, and then I'm going to go for the last one. Try and get it equidistant either side. Stick that in there. Give it a little tap. And now the cork wants to stay where it is. So I'm going to go down just a little bit with them all, but like I say, ultimately I want to save this bit of track. I have plans for it, because these first radius curves, excuse me if I'm jumping the camera, these first radius curves are going to be used for my loop that you can't see, but it's going to come down here, right along, loop back up, and potentially go back into the middle siding, completing the circuit on the layout. So that's how I do that. Now I'm going to zoom in and down just so you can get a better look at that and what I did with it. Now you can see along the bottom there what I've done. Cut little triangles in it, and then that allows you to curve the cork. Now you can see at the end there, this cork hasn't followed. Why is that? Because the track pin's not in control of it. However, once you put the next bit on, it'll come round and hold. All you have to do is sort of manipulate the ends however you feel to be able to do that. And when you put your next bit of track on, pin that, and then you'll get a continuous hold on it. And that is my tip for it. Now, like I say, what I'm going to do is I am going to create a full Christmas scene with the Coca-Cola truck. The Coca-Cola Christmas train set, which was my original and only train set that I had. But for now I might leave it there just to sort of keep that on. So what the plans are forthcoming are to create a square and a picture frame with a sort of snow scene that can be used during during the Christmas period and sat out. So something really nice and really cool that, you know, might look good as an ornament. So listen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming this far. You've came this far, you might as well subscribe, because if you want to see how to make that Christmas decoration, then this is the place. But also there's loads and loads of stuff like this, and I hope this particular demonstration of how to lay track to your model railway layout and how to lay cork to your model railway layout will be useful to you. So flick me a like, flick me a subscribe, throw some comments, throw some tips if you've got a better way of doing it. I'd be delighted to hear. Yeah, the one thing I forgot to say, little triangles will be covered by your track ballast, so do not worry about them. But anyway, thank you again, and I shall see you around. Thank you.